Keep that knife away from me.
Okay. Ready?
I guess so. Okay. Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Citrus Arcane. You wanna? No. Like just a little bit. Oh, fine. Go.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Citrus Arcane. I'm Artemis, and Bagel over here is Shifty. Why are you eating a bagel?
Go, I'm hungry.
Yeah, but the video. Never mind. Alright, so this video I'm going to be reviewing kind of an older cartoon called Static Shock.
Do they have bagels in it?
No, actually Static's older sister is a crack cook who makes soggy eggs.
Yeah. Oh, this is my lazy day, as you can see, t-shirt, so I'm not sticking around for this.
So I can't rant to you about... Oh, fine. So, since Shifty won't hear my rant about Static Shock, I guess you will. Static Shock is basically a cartoon about a young teenage superhero called Static. Yeah. His real name is Virgil Hawkins, and he is from Dakota City. So, it's kind of an interesting kind of show, especially if you like superheroes. Teenage superheroes to boot. He's not a sidekick of any kind. He's his own person. Actually, he gets a sidekick later on, technically. Alright, so Static Shock begins when this young teenager, Virgil Hawkins, and his best friend, Richie Foley, are, well, they're just two high school students. Very young in high school. And they're minding their own business. When, unfortunately, of course, as every high school has one, the school bully pops up. His name is Francis, but his kind of like, well, he mutates later on, becomes this like metagene supervillain kind of going on. Hot Streak. He's always known as Hot Streak because poor guy's name is Francis. No offense to anyone named Francis. Never mind. So yeah. Mr. Francis comes in being all big, tough, bully, and, well, a gang member pops up. Now, something you have to remember in the show Static Shock is that it actually has some real-life things that could happen. I mean, there are gang members, there are guns in the show. There was actually a Dakota riot before the show started, and it flashbacks to it. Virgil's mother was killed in the Dakota riots. So, yeah, there is an actual gang member who goes and helps out Virgil for a price. See, he wants Virgil to join his gang because there's going to be this big gang turf war. And he wants more guys, he wants, you know, extra hands, or cannon fodder, really. And so poor Virgil's kind of stuck in the middle of this, because now he owes this gang member for saving his butt against Francis. So unfortunately, Virgil does end up going to this gang turf war thing, and it's at the docks, the Dakota City docks. At the docks, there is a shipment of it's an experimental chemical of some sort. I'm not sure how to kind of explain it. I'm not a scientist, but it was an experimental chemical, and unfortunately, when policemen show up to break the gang members up to get them out of the docks, they shoot tear gas. They try and, you know, there's bullets flying everywhere. There's tear gas coming everywhere. The chemicals get spilled, mixed with the tear gas, gets like ignited by the different explosions going on, and creates the Big Bang, essentially. That is what the entire show calls it, the Big Bang. Everyone who was at the docks at that time, whether they were just passing by, whether they were related to the gang, whether they were just dragged into it like poor Virgil, everyone gets hit with the gas, and they start mutating. When I say mutating, I mean both physically or sometimes just internally. For example, this one character gets mind manipulation powers later on, and it's kind of terrifying. A lot of the characters actually don't make it. Of course, they're just side characters, so you really don't know who they are. But it shows this one guy melting into a puddle of goo. Some other guy, if I remember correctly, is sprouting tentacles. So yeah. There's death. There's death. Happy fun time show. Virgil ends up getting electromagnetic powers, I suppose you could put it. Static powers. He can shoot electricity from his hands, he can control electrical current. He can do this pretty cool thing where he magnetizes like this little circle of metal, and he can actually kind of he can levitate it off the ground and just kind of fly around the city. It's kind of cool. So that's how he becomes static, and that's just in like the first episode. Everything else is just Static's adventures as Static. The ups, the downs, the ego trips he takes, and then the whole pop, let's get rid of that ego, just stop inflating it. So yeah, it's this teenage kid becoming a superhero, and it's actually kind of it's a good show. It's an interesting show. It's got some good points. It does touch on some heavy things. There's an episode actually where this kid gets bullied so much that he brings a gun to school, and Virgil's friend Richie gets shot in the leg because the kid was actually trying to shoot his bully. So it does touch on some heavy things, but not in too much of a corny way where you just think it's like some sort of after-school special that you just brush off. It actually does it in a pretty good way. Racism is actually explored in the show. Richie's father is actually pretty racist, for a while at least. He seems to try to get better at the end of that episode, but yeah, that's actually also addressed in the show, because Virgil, the main character, he's black, which is actually a very big thing to a lot of people, and because he is a black superhero, and he's the main character, and his sidekick is his white best friend, which is actually a pretty cool thing. It's not too new. There are others, but it's a good thing for other people to see that, not just the white people. So yeah, the show is actually really, really nice. The characters are definitely well thought out. Virgil and Richie are teenagers, so of course there are going to be just some silly teenage things going on, but overall, it's actually kind of, they grow up. Like, they grow up sometimes a bit too fast, because of terrible circumstances. It's one of those kind of, this poor kid just grew up too fast because of what happened. And the show actually does it fairly well. The characters are very developed. Virgil, there's an episode where he goes to Africa, and he actually meets an African superhero, Anansi, if I'm saying that correctly, Anansi, and Virgil is actually very happy to be there. He likes it there. He's exploring his culture and everything, and he's extremely intelligent. Virgil is secretly extremely intelligent, like scary intelligent. His best friend Richie, when Richie actually develops his superpowers, his meta-human superpowers, as they're called, he actually gains a lot more intelligence too. Like, he could probably outthink Batman. Or Blue Beetle, if anyone knows who Ted Kord is. So, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. They're intelligent characters, stupid teenagers, but they're intelligent. It's basically kind of like a teenage coming of age, like a superhero coming of age story. In a weird roundabout way. Yeah, I guess that explains it. Honestly though, Static Shock is a very good TV show. It's entertaining, and there are a lot of crossovers. If you like the show Justice League Unlimited, there are actually a few episodes where Static helps out the Justice League. Static has actually, his future self has been referenced and shown in one of the Justice League Unlimited episodes. Static has also crossed over with the older show Batman Beyond, which is essentially many, many years into the future. It's a new Batman, very new Batman in Neo Gotham. There was some time travel incidents there. Yeah, gotta love the time travel. Virgil has there was an episode between Virgil and Green Lantern, one of the many Green Lanterns. There was supposed to actually be a crossover between Static Shock and Teen Titans. However, due to the fact that Static Shock ended before Teen Titans started, never happened. But it was the Teen Titans, they were referenced by Batman in an episode. You do see the Robins change. Like, it goes from Dick Grayson to Tim Drake to maybe Jason Todd. I'm not quite sure at this point. I'm fairly sure that it just goes to Tim Drake, though. Or, no, maybe just Jason Todd. No? Yeah, they just skip around the Robins. Either way, it's an interesting show. Superman is in an episode if you really love Superman. But yeah, it's kind of just a superhero teenage coming of age stories. But it's not done in a cheesy way. I swear it's not. It's done in a really nice way, and it's a very nice show, and you should go check it out. I don't want to say too much about it because that might kind of ruin the show for you. And yeah, too many spoilers would probably have you calling out for my blood. But take my word for it. If you like superheroes, if you like unconventional superheroes, and if you just like to be entertained, go just check out Static Shock. Alright. Thanks for watching the video, and comment below anything you want me to review. If I have seen it, or read it, or heard it, or whatever, I will probably review it. Even if I haven't, then I will go read it, or see it, or hear it, or whatever, and I will review it. Thumbs up if you like DC Comics, and if you know what I mean by saying DC Comics and you don't think that means Marvel. So yeah, have a nice day. Don't forget to subscribe too. Subscribe.